Hi guys, De Graafschap Ajax 0-3. Sahbi, cup game, quarterfinals. We saw what happened earlier this week with Utrecht. So we had to be alert today. We had to be on top of our game, be focused, all these kind of things. Then we see like the lineup, lots of changes. I started doubting, ooh, is
Nah.
this giving the right signal, the right message to the team and to the opponent? But then it was pretty okay the
It
first half,
was.
I think. Second
Oh.
half, can we be very critical or can we just ignore the second half?
Ignore the second half. I think that would be best. That
All
would be best.
right, so we're
Focus
happy
only on the first.
basically. We're happy. We're happy we're through. How
Yeah,
did you how
100%.
did you see that game? What kind of feeling do you have after watching that game? Especially concerning we had the chance to see a couple of new players as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, to be honest, I was quite happy with the changes. I mean, players within the squad need to have the feeling that they can have an added value to the team. And we're playing against the Graafschap. Although we have to be alert, as you said, it should have been a walk in the park. And every player within our squad is better than in every position than the players that are starting from Graafschap. So if we would have lost this game because of the changes, it would have been a real disaster, a real shame, etc. So I was quite confident, and I loved the way Hatiga put in the players. I mean, Hato as a left back, young player, 16 years old. So it was well. Conceição needed minutes. I loved the fact that Bergwijn kept on playing because he really needed that goal and he got that goal. So I was happy about that. Grealish finally some minutes and people complaining why is he not playing, etc. etc. Well, he got his minutes today, so we will talk about it later on, probably. So all with all, I was quite happy with the lineup. Also with the first half, we had total domination, total control. First half. At the beginning, we didn't really create chances, although yeah, we grabbed them by the throat. They couldn't really counterattack against us. Although the first chance come from their side, that shot from Büttner. But all with all, it was good. Horrible pitch, terrible. I
True.
mean, you couldn't even play decent football the way Ajax always wants to play. So maybe they did it on purpose or not. I don't know, but it was really terrible. And yeah, nothing to add on that. But yeah, nice goals. I mean, the goal from Sanchez. I'm not a fan of Sanchez. I think you already know. You already know that, but it was a nice goal. But for the rest, it was shitty. I think he didn't play that great offensively. He didn't have an added value defensively. He had a few errors. Was sloppy. So yeah, it was well. It was okay. Second half, really, really, really bad. It's like a difference
Why?
between day and night.
Why, Sabi? Why did we come out of the dressing room and we're only 2-0 up and we're playing away? You know what happens in the cup game? If one way or another, the fans will live up. We will start having a little bit of confidence issues,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
don't
yeah,
forget, it's not that long ago that Schroeder was our coach. Not to bash Schroeder, but just like you know what I mean. Like we didn't
no,
have
no,
that
no, yeah,
confidence back then. It's not so long ago, so we have to be really tanking confidence and making sure we don't get, these. We don't give our opponents that confidence to get back in the game. And I
yeah. That's
felt like
correct.
how is this possible? Is it a mentality issue? Is it because a couple of players are not used to playing this level a couple of
Uh,
minutes? I don't know.
it's difficult to say. I mean, the Gaza played really opportunistic in the second half.
No.
They tried to
Yeah.
do. They played all or nothing basically already from the start, and during the game they changed formation as well. But it looked like they Ajax was thinking we've done the job and just we should just keep on playing the way we want to play with the break with the feet on the break, and then like loosen up. And that's the wrong mentality. And I really hoped Hadiga would have stepped in during the game, like trying to motivate them, put some pepper in their asses, and like let them fight for our club. But yeah, it looks like we kept on uh, going behind, and that's what the Graafschap really wanted, and it was difficult. They really, I won't say they created chances, but they were dangerous, and they even had an offside goal, which was like inches
True.
before it was onside. So yeah, it was a difficult game, but I wasn't really worried, to be honest. Not
And
worried
there
at
was
all.
another chance also that came from the left side that
Yeah,
almost
yeah,
went in as
yeah.
well. So
True,
they got a
true.
corner out
And
of that.
nobody
So
defended that player, so that was
exactly, exactly. So that,
really
I mean,
worrisome.
it didn't look that good, in my opinion. Which is why, let me go right through it. I saw your like before before the video. I saw your ratings, and I saw you gave Timber a man of the match. Why, man? I totally disagree with that. To be
Yeah,
honest, I
well,
usually don't disagree that much with your ratings,
lately,
anyone, but this one I totally don't
no.
agree with it.
Well, I first of all, my ratings were based, is of course based on the whole match, but mainly on the first half because the second half, there was. I mean, if I had to give the grades uh, throughout the whole game, then for example, Bergwijn would have gotten a 5 because he had a good first half, but second half it was a disaster. But
Yeah,
nonetheless, I gave him, I think I gave him a 7, if I recall it correctly. But Timber, I gave because he, in my opinion, he defended well. He had a lot of progressive passes. I saw him playing like real captain, trying to give motivation to players next to him. So he did well, and I don't think the other players really
stood out.
uh, stood out, did better than him.
Yeah,
There were a few players who did okay. I mean, I thought Kudus was dangerous. Conceição and Bergwijn first half really good. A lot of attacks from both wings. Um, Brobbey was unlucky, but didn't play his best match. So there weren't really a lot of players who really stood out. So that's why I chose Timber.
all right, fine.
And you, from
That's
your
fine.
side?
I would give it honestly. I agree with what you're saying that there was no clear person that stood out. I think a lot like we're bouncing on the same levels, but I would personally give it to Klaassen, to be
His
honest.
work rate, yeah. I
Work
admire his
rate,
work rate. Yeah,
his
He-
pressing,
yeah, I
recovering
like
the
that.
ball, and he almost never loses the ball either. Like for instance, Timber lost the ball a couple of times. Like one time he was attacking, he lost the ball in the first half, which gave
Yeah, in the
counter.
first half, that's true.
He also gave a sideways pass to the other side, which went behind the player. So, and
Yeah,
in my
okay, but that,
opinion, yeah, and in my opinion, sometimes Timber, and maybe it's an instruction, maybe he's going too much into the midfield and sometimes leaving Bassi alone. And I think Timber should be much more organizing the defense as well. I know he's not that type of player, because Lisandro used to do that last year. But I think he should take that responsibility more. I expect more from Timber, to be honest.
yeah,
That's just my opinion. Especially when you play against the Graafschap. Honestly,
yeah, but because you're playing against the Graafschap, he saw opportunity to to go into midfield and even further. I mean, Bessie is not the type of player who really can build up or can dribble through midfield. So if one of them had to do it, it would be Timber. So that's why it happened. But I do agree with you. Klaas also played a good game. I also gave him a 7. So it's not like it's a big difference. There's a big
yeah.
difference, big gap. I also gave him a 7, and so those were one of the highest grades that I've given.
Fine. Look,
Yeah,
quickly. Hato, we have to talk about him.
Otto.
He
Yeah,
started left. We know he's more suited as a center defender from the youth,
in my
but he's
opinion,
playing as a left back. But what do you think of his performance today?
yeah, played a decent game. He has the ability to read the game and therefore positioning himself very good. He reminds me actually a little bit on Blind because he has the same characteristics, knows how to position himself, the ability to do that. Only he got speed in comparison with Blind. So that's a great attribute that he gets. But I would rather see him as a left center back instead of a left back, to be honest. Because I don't see him more as a
Eventually,
really
eventually.
attacking left back.
Okay, eventually, you think eventually he'll become a center
Eventually,
defender.
yeah.
Yeah, and we have to also give him props for the first goal. He gave the first pass to
Pre-assist.
Bobby. Yeah,
Yeah, he had the
exactly.
pre-assist indeed. Yeah. He did it
Really
very
good.
well.
Look, we're happy that Bergwijn scored. We actually tweeted this morning like He has to be back on the score sheet. Happy for him. Overall, should we look too much into this game or just forget about it? We're going to the semis. Or are you like, because we'll talk tomorrow in the live stream more about it, but
Yeah.
do you feel like what we saw in the second half, do you think like it's a structural thing, or do you think like, no, it's a one-off, it's fine, we have a higher level and we'll be fine going into the next
Yeah.
games?
No, I definitely think it's a one-off. We don't see that often. Uh, Most of the time, it's the other way around. We play a bad first half and then a better second half. So it's, I mean, the structural thing is that we don't do it for the full 90 minutes. And yeah, that's something that Heitinga really needs to work with his players. But yeah, I mean, this is the Graafschap. We shouldn't put too much stress or too much pressure on this game. It was a quite easy game, easy win. Certain players played well. Hato, as I said, played well. Grealish played an easy game. There was not
Broby?
really much to do for him, especially except for the second half.
Yeah, and
He
Broby?
could cope well,
Mhm.
and yeah, I would like to see him more in during an intense game where you need to see a lot of him instead of now only where he got most of the time to give those progressive passes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I like Pasveer again, very reliable. So he's a great goalie to have on the bench, and so nothing to complain. To be
Yeah.
honest,
And one more player, I just mentioned him, but you were talking about something else. So, Broby, in your opinion, he scored, but also, what do you think of his? He gives something different, than Tadic as a striker. And one of the things that you saw today very clearly is his ability to make runs.
run deep.
Go deep,
Yeah,
go to
yeah,
the sides.
yeah.
What do you think of her performance today? And he played the full. Did he play the full minutes? Yeah, he
Yeah,
played the full
he played
minutes.
the full
Yes,
90 minutes. I was
yes,
surprised as well. No, I think he was unlucky today. He had some chances where he should have scored, especially in the first half. Second half was basically a gift given by the Graafschap to score that goal.
yeah. And he had
He
that,
had
and he had the header on the
on the
post as well
post,
from the
and he had
corner.
an assist. He had an assist on Sanchez.
Yeah,
So he worked hard. I mean, no doubt about that. But he should be more clinical. I know his potential, and he can do way better than he is doing right now.
yeah.
But maybe he
I
needs
think,
minutes.
yeah, I think the best example of that one, what you're saying, be more clinical, is that at the end he tried to give the ball to Kudus. He overhit that pass.
Yeah,
Should have been a shot. If he's really a
should have been a
striker,
shot. Yeah.
you should go
Yeah.
for the goal, right?
Normally he would have given that shot. Maybe could have screamed at him like, "Give me the ball back," or
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah, he should be more selfish, more clinical in his area, basically.
Yes.
But he did okay. He did okay.
Yeah. So listen, final question. Probably on Saturday will be the draw again. So we have Feyenoord, PSV, and Spakenburg.
Yeah, Spakenburg. Yeah.
Spakenburg. So are you the one that would say, "Give me Spakenburg," or are you the one that say, "I don't care. We're
Oh
going
man,
to
I
the
don't
finals
I
anyway"?
don't care as long as we play home game. I
Okay.
don't care. I mean, Spakenburg would be an easy one on paper, an easy one, but I wouldn't mind uh, killing PSV at home and then Feyenoord at their turf in the final. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind at all.
All right. So you're confident, basically.
I'm confident, but we have to play at home because that's a huge difference at this moment.